Hello, friends, family, and fellow patriots. Thank you for your support. I always thank you for your support. You've been very good to me. And please remember to either share my videos on your social media pages or messenger me on Facebook, and I will send you a copy. So today we're going to be addressing liberal Democrats. Let me start out by saying I love to wake up every morning to know that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. He's my president. You know how you guys have your saying, not my president. Well, he's my president. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but he's your president too. And he may go down as one of the greatest presidents of the United States ever. So yesterday was No King's Day. And as you probably have seen, there were thousands and thousands of low IQ, brain dead liberal sheep protesting. So I'm asking you, liberal idiots out there, what were you protesting? We were protesting the mainstream media manufactured lie that Trump thinks he's a king. Okay, so now I'll ask you another question. How does he think he is a king? What actions has he taken to suspend the U.S. Constitution, dissolve Congress and the Supreme Court, and declare himself a king? I'm waiting. Now, the mainstream media lied yesterday, as they always do. Okay? Many of them used stock footage of crowds that were from other protests to show protesters at the No Kings protest yesterday. Now, this here is a pic of something that NBC in Boston used to show yesterday's crowd. However, okay, it was a crowd from a different protest or a different event back in 2017. That's a proven fact. Do you asshole liberals realize that we were once a colony of Great Britain? That's England, in case you don't know who Great Britain is. And that the colonies were ruled by a king? Do you realize that American colonists fought and won the Revolutionary War to break free of being ruled by a king? Are you truly this stupid that you don't know this? Here's another question. What did you expect to accomplish on No King's Day? Did you accomplish what you set out to do? Did you depose a sitting monarch yesterday? Did you change who sits in the Oval Office? Did you change anything? Of course, the answer to everything is that you changed nothing. You once again, though, showed decent Americans that you are completely brainwashed and useless to society. It would be really nice to know if there was an actual point to yesterday's protests. It really amuses me that you think President Trump thinks he's a king because he's cleaning up crime in Democrat controlled cities, or because he's deporting criminal illegal aliens that do not belong in the United States, or because he's firing thousands of unnecessary federal bureaucrats. Okay? That's why you're protesting. Not because he thinks he's a king, but because you can't control the crime and you can't control the fear in the cities anymore. You can't control the illegals and give them votes. Okay? And you can't control the bureaucrats that do everything to thwart President Trump's efforts. That's what your protests were about. But we're not stupid. We see right through you. And once again, I have to stress to you mentally diseased liberals that you had no problem when your Democrat kings demanded that you wear a mask that was proven to never work, and when they locked us down, and when they fired people and took away their livelihoods and ability to support their families because they would not get a vaccination. You didn't have any problem when they told you can't go outside, or when they tell you got to get 57 booster shots, or when they shut down thousands of small businesses and put mom and pop businesses out of business and lost their livelihoods, or when they told people that they can't go to church because you people are all godless anyway. Nobody that has any inkling or belief in God would act the way you people do. You had no problem when they established a hotline so you could snitch on your neighbors. They had no problem. You had no problem when they told you to stay 6 feet apart, because 6 feet means you don't get sick. 6'1" means you don't get sick. What about 5'11"? Does that mean you get sick? And you had no problem when they told your family that no more than 10 people could gather for holidays and celebrations. Spare me your fucking hypocrisy. Now, in keeping with liberal Democrat insanity, their response to this would be something like, "This was done to save lives." Give me a fucking break. You people kill unborn babies every day because you're too lazy to go to the drugstore and get a fucking rubber. It's been proven that none of this worked for COVID. In fact, there are medications out there that could have spared tens of thousands of people from getting COVID or die from it. And the Democrats blocked usage of these drugs. Common sense dictates that if people were just left alone, some people would get sick. Yeah, a couple would die, just like the flu. But if people were not isolated, the virus would have naturally mutated and weakened in no time. But because everybody was so isolated, the virus didn't mutate and weaken quickly. The virus that your party manufactured and had the Chinese make. So, if you're protesting kings, maybe you should shut your dirty, filthy mouths and protest the real kings, the leaders from your pathetic party, the leaders that have stolen from the people, the leaders that staged a January 6th attempted coup, the leaders that violate inside trading laws and get richer and richer and richer. And how about the leaders that refuse to obey the laws that they make for you? Maybe it's time you finally take your heads out of your big fat asses and expose your tiny little brains to some real truth, not the utopian bullshit truth that you bask in to protect yourself from reality. Again, do you actually think you made an impression yesterday? Do you actually think that decent Americans were swayed by anything that you do or did? No. How much longer do you think decent Americans are going to continue to put up with your bullshit? We know what you're doing. You don't fool us. We know why you're doing it. And I'm here to tell you that it's not going to work. Ever. We know that you're trying to implement communism in America. We know that you're allowing a Muslim invasion of the country. We know that you're doing this because you wholeheartedly believe in those tiny, tiny, tiny little brains that this will shape the United States into a more inclusive society. Well, let me make this clear to you. If the United States is not an inclusive society, it's because of you people, you creatures, whatever the fuck you are. Because of your racism, your homophobia, your xenophobia, your transphobia, and all your stupid, mentally insane ideas. You're the people that put labels on everything, not us. You're the racists, okay? You're the ones who keep people separate. You're the ones who have kept minorities down for every single fucking year that this country has existed. Let me enlighten you. If communism ever does take hold in the United States, which it won't, but just in case, okay, and you see what it's really like, you'll be the first to protest and complain. And then, as history has taught us, you will be the first ones lined up and shot by a firing squad. This is not opinion. This is fact that has happened in every single country that has embraced communism. China still executes people that voice dissent. So don't think that you're going to be any different. You think Islam is so great and that Allah loves queers? I've seen your protest banners, so you must think it's true. Allow me to enlighten your tiny brains once again. Islam is not a religion, it's a cult. It's a cult of sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic pedophiles that use religion as an excuse to murder its citizens. For all of you women out there that love Islam, you'll be the first to be subjugated. You'll be forced to cover up your fat, flabby liberal bodies with whatever kind of outfit that they wear, and you'll be forced to wear a hijab to cover your disgusting faces. You'll be forced to remove all your face piercings. Your colored hair will be cut off, and you will lose all of your rights. You'll not be allowed to drive. You'll not be allowed to go out in public without a man. And if you're raped, you will be guilty until you, or even if you can prove that you were raped and who raped you. And let's not forget what these animals do to gay people, which in this case will include all of your trans, non-binary, 87 different gender people. Gay people are thrown off buildings or hanged in public. They don't like dogs, so you know what they do to dogs? They inject them with acid so that the dog dies a slow, cruel death. If you commit a serious enough crime, they'll behead you. I mean, you can't deal with capital punishment in the United States, let's say for pedophiles or murderers, but you're okay with a friggin' cult that beheads people. And let's not forget the Islamic mullahs or priests or whatever the hell they are that love to marry little girls. Yes, little girls, 9, 10, 11 years old, and get them pregnant. If they're able to, of course. If this is what you really want for the United States, please pack your bags and get the hell out. Okay? Go to Mexico. Go to Canada. I mean, it's a liberal fucking mental house up there. Or even go to Great Britain because they're now turning into exactly what you want. They have changed all their privacy laws just last week so that they can inspect your cell phone anytime they want or your computer anytime they want without a warrant. Okay? And if you post something on social media that's considered dissent, they will arrest you. It is happening. You like Islam so much? Move to a fucking Islamic country. Go. Let's see how long you last there. But please, get out. Get out of the United States. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. We know that you're pushing for a civil war. And it's been brewing for over a decade since your King Obama divided this country with his racist and communist rhetoric. But as I told you before, this is how it starts. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stand down now. It's our will against your will, and you will lose. So, my friends, I welcome all your comments. I especially welcome comments on this reel from liberal Democrats out there. Remember, though, liberals, if you want to comment and try to prove me wrong, you need to present solid facts, not stories that you got from CNN or MSLSD or any of the other mainstream media, because they're nothing but propagandists. Solid facts or no comments. God bless you, my friends, family, and fellow patriots, and God bless the United States of America. Bye.